we're improving.
Yeah.
But you see where my hair, I just had to get it a little wet just so I could, swoop it. What are you making that face for?
No reason.
All right, welcome to another episode of Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks. I am your host, Jeff Spain. Did I say the name wrong? You're looking at me, okay? You're messing up my intro. Your host, Jeff Spain, right over here. I got Coach James over there in the co-host chair. And our special guest today, Mr. Reese Lafever.
Yes, sir.
I said it right?
That is right.
Man, I look at it, that's
right.
what it looks like on paper, and I just wanted to make sure I
That is 100% right. It is not Lafever, it's not Lafever, it's
Lafever.
You got it.
Exactly.
That's all.
Is that French?
It is French.
I knew it was French. It's the la.
Listen, I have had a lot of people, especially my girlfriend, she's like, you're not French. I'm like, my last name says something else, so.
Oh, snap. Yep. That's funny as hell, man. Well, I have to say, like, the reason I asked Reese to come on to the podcast, well, first of all, I'm a fan, man. I like watching young competitors go out there, and also the fact that you're doing, like, your social media thing, and you're really trying to, like, keep up with that. That's work, dude.
Yeah.
That's hard work to, like, balance being
sure.
an athlete and being a tech head, basically, like doing all the marketing for yourself. So we were like, well, this guy's trying to do his thing. And it's like, well, maybe we can help with our few followers, like that we have, just to promote you because, you are out there competing and doing your thing. You did the ADCC trials recently.
Right.
So just watching you and Tony, who we talked about, we had on about a year ago.
Has it been that long?
It's been a little bit.
It feels like it was just like last month or something like that.
Yeah, man.
Well, we try to be as consistent as possible, so we appreciate you making us feel like we're doing this on a regular.
Yeah.
Yeah, the holidays definitely screwed us up. But families.
Yeah,
and,
it's always tough for sure.
And he's got his shit. James works a full-time job, I'm trying to run a jiu-jitsu gym. It's not easy to get together to do something like this, and I appreciate you making the time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate you guys having me down. It's actually been a minute since I've been to the Lebanon area, but it's good being in here.
So you live close to Lebanon?
I used to. So do you guys know where Smithville's at?
Smithville?
Smithville.
Smithville?
It's literally the middle of nowhere. So
yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I hadn't been there.
That's most people's answer.
Yeah,
they've heard of it. Yeah. It's about like an hour away from everything. It's actually where I used to live. And then so I started training, and then I moved to Smyrna, and now I'm 5 minutes from the gym. So it's a lot easier than driving an hour there and back. So yeah, that's mainly what my parents were driving. So that sucked. And we'd take my brother's truck, so we'd get all four of us. So it was me, my brother, and my sister would all pile, and my parents would all pile into this truck with just a one cab truck, and we'd all just drive down there, and we'd spend an hour training, and then if we stayed for the second class, it was 2 hours of training, and we drive back to Smithville an hour. So big shout out to those guys for sure. Yeah, my parents.
That's commitment, man.
Yeah,
man.
It's super awesome.
Especially for something you love, help support you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's always easier to do something like jiu-jitsu when you have some support behind you, whether it be a single person or a whole team of people. It makes a difference.
Yep. I think that's been a big thing for me too. It's just been I feel like jiu-jitsu is one of those things where it's there's I was actually talking with Sam Ives about this not too long ago, where it's you either start with everybody supporting you. You have the Colabates where everybody's supporting you. You have limited people supporting you, or you're from the favelas, So it's I feel like those are the two options you got.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, I've had a lot of people support me, so it's been pretty easy to focus on training, stuff like that. I
see you paying it forward with Sam's business shirt there. You're repping the Carruthers Farms Fitness.
Farms, yeah, I mean, go check it out. My girlfriend actually got this for me for Christmas, so
we had Sam on the episode, not too long ago. So
yep. Yeah, man, he's a good dude for sure. I've actually been training with him in November. It was a year. I've gained 10 pounds. I've got I hear everybody who sees me, who doesn't see me, they're man, you've gotten a lot bigger. I'm yeah, that's because Sam.
So your strength training has paid off, you would say. You feel in
sure.
competition it's made a difference.
I mean,
what about your recovery and stuff too, everything?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really had any major injuries, so I can't say that like me personally, I've never had any major injuries. I know, I'm sure down the ways we might have some, but I've been trying to avoid them pretty much. I've done a decent job of that, like not getting injured. I mean, I've actually this week I just like popped my finger, like I was in like crucifix position, like turtle, and they rolled through and my finger got stuck in it, like bent backwards. I was like, ah. But
speaking of fingers,
oh yeah.
You got some gnarly fingers?
No, I don't.
Well, I know. I got gnarly fingers.
I got one.
I got one on each side.
Finger.
Yeah.
My middle finger on one, my ring finger on the other.
Yeah.
Same kind of break, too. Just right in the middle knuckle.
Yeah, it was like super nasty. It's still a little swollen and stuff, but it is what it is.
I didn't have a bone pop out of my finger, though, like young Ari happened to her recently in training.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. Ari, you want to come over here for a minute? Hop in just behind Reese's camera. And just show your cast for a minute. So Ari was rolling recently, and the top knuckle of her finger just busted out. Oh,
a little lower, honey. Duck down some.
There you go. Yeah, like Reese is like, this.
I promise you, she's not gonna rear naked choke you.
Yeah. Yeah, but Ari's a beast. She trains with adults.
Yeah.
Now, how old are you, Reese?
I'm actually 19.
19.
Yes, sir.
So you're training with adults too.
Yes, sir.
You got to.
In his head, I was like, I am a adult.
Yeah, right.
No, but you started way before you were a grown up.
I started. So I actually started in. I always jack it up. It's like Woodbury, I think, is where I started training with Jimmy Hayes, like a long time ago. When I was like 11, probably when I first started with him. And it was like 2 days a week, or it'd be like 3-4 days a week, but it was like sometimes class would get canceled because he was trying to become a cop and stuff like that, so he had different stuff he was working on. And then after that, so I trained there, and it'd be like off and on, and I just like loved it, and my dad put me in it, and I was like, man, like I love this. And then he actually closed down to become like a full-time cop and stuff. I was like, well, I'll stop training. And so that's when I started going down to the nation with Cliff and Gio and all those guys, and went down there, got my ass kicked quite a bit. So
and how old are you when you started with Cliff?
When I started with Cliff, I was 12. I was 12.
Wow.
Actually, in February it'll be 7 years that I'll be there.
Wow.
Yeah, 7
That's
years
awesome.
You know they say about 7 years, right?
What's that?
If you've been with the same group of people for 7 or more years, you're friends for life.
Yeah, man.
Is that right?
Yeah, isn't that a nice thought?
It is. I didn't know where you were going with this for a second.
I know. I saw Reese's face. He was nervous. He was like, "Oh shit."
I always got to fact check Jeff. You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So why have you stayed with Jiu-Jitsu Nation?
Man, me personally, I think that like it's definitely one of the best gyms in Tennessee, if not the best gym in Tennessee. I mean, like I'm not trying to be like cocky or anything like that, but
no.
I 100% think that we're one of the best gyms, if not the best gym in Tennessee, and that's honestly why I've stayed with them. Just because, like, I mean, I got Gio to train with, and he's like my main training partner. We used to have like a bunch of people like Andy, stuff like that when I was first coming up. And man, honestly, I was just like every single day I just got my ass kicked, like every single day. But they kind of like they just took their own paths and stuff like that now.
Well, hey, I'm super stoked that you're excited about your school. You can say it's the best if you want, but just joking. Yeah. Seriously though, that does say a lot about your school, because if you ever are training somewhere and you feel like this isn't the best school in the world, then you're probably in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Like, so to have that kind of passion and stick with it for 7 years, that's kudos to you, kudos to Cliff and Gio, the whole school, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys
love
have a strong
love
team,
that.
strong leadership. And, the guys who are running the place, who are there now, you, Gio, and Tyler.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Tyler a whole lot, so I'm not sure, does he still compete as much as you guys?
He's not really that big into like competing. He's more he helps with like the business side of things. And
you need that guy.
Yeah.
You need
for
that
sure.
guy.
Yeah.
It's tough to focus on all of those things at once, and if you have somebody who's managing the business side of the school while you've got the other guys spearheading competition, that's the ideal situation, because to do it all by yourself. Luckily you guys have a good team.
Yeah.
The three of you. Now, all of you are working full time at the gym?
I actually work part time, but I mean, so like me and Gio, basically we focus on the kids program, and then he runs like some of the adult program too. And so it's like, as far as that, it's like Tyler can handle all that stuff while we focus more on the mats and like what's going on the day to day, while him and Cliff focus on like more the business side of things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so like that's pretty much how that works. It's like, so me and Gio run the kids class. He'll do like the advanced class. I'll do like our fundamentals class. And man, teaching kids, it's something else. We have like a 4:20 class, and then we have like a 5 o'clock class. So it's like 5 to 6 year olds, and I do 5 to 6. He does 7 to 8 year olds. Oh. And then
I do those under 6-year-olds. Yeah,
that's 5 to 6 is
patience, right?
Yeah. Oh man,
you just have to be like throw your hands up sometimes. Be like, sorry, mom and dad, your kid is off the chain.
You know? Yeah, I tell you what, dude, it's really cool though, because recently we have like so many kids come in, because we do like the after school program. So it's like we have a lot of kids coming in. So it's like 15, 16 kids per class for like a moderate class. I'd say it's 15, 16. A big class is like 20, but that's like pushing it.
Now you're talking about 5 to 6-year-olds?
Yes.
5 to 6
just you teaching them?
So it's not just me. I do have some of our kids who are like in our upper class. Tony is like advanced class, stuff like that. Yeah. They'll come. I'll have like 2 helpers with me, and they'll help me out and stuff.
You definitely need
help. But even still, like I watched Jeff with that same group, and it's like 6 of them, and every time I come in, it just looks like Jeff has just seen Christ for the first time. He's like, "Thank you for being here, James.
I'm just like my savior."
So it's like what I've realized is whether you have 6 of them, or whether you have 16 of them, you have to run the class the exact same way.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like, yes. I can't even like teach jiu-jitsu most of the time. It's mostly just like we just have to move.
It's discipline, yeah. And you're right. You have to go from one thing to the next thing to one thing.
It's a high energy class,
especially
the little kids.
Yes.
It's super high energy.
It takes a special person to do that class.
Oh man, yeah. I love it, but I think I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and so I'm starting to get the hang of it. I talked to Gio quite a bit about that too. You know, it's good to have him help out. And I know I call him like Geotone. I'm gonna call him like 5 different names.
That's right. We do the same thing.
Yeah, but I definitely call him like the 5 different names. But he helps me out. You know, we talk pretty consistently.
Now, does Cliff still have a big role inside the school, or is he more into ownership now? Or is he,
he's more in the ownership now. It's mostly like Gio that helps out with the kids program and stuff like that.
You guys have multiple locations?
Nope. Right now we just have the one.
Okay.
I think there's talks of in the future, you know, trying to get a second
I know he's got
location.
a couple black belts that run schools from the past.
So there's a couple people who are like under the affiliation who like go and they have their own schools and stuff like that too. So.
And what belt are you, Reese?
I'm a purple belt.
You're a purple belt?
Yep,
I wasn't sure if you had reached purple yet.
I did.
The belt of royalty.
Yeah. Oh man, that Roman colors.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now I already know the answer to this question because I read your social media posts. But gi or no gi?
Man,
I put you on the spot.
It's a tough question. I feel like it's definitely one of those things where it's like. I feel like that divides a lot of the jiu-jitsu community is gi and no gi, and I feel like here recently a lot of, and this is my opinion, but I feel like here recently a lot of no gi guys get a lot of hate for doing just no gi, but it's like there's people who do just gi, and I feel like they don't get brought up as much. Like all they do is train gi, and it's like everybody's so focused on the no gi guys, you know. So it's like they're like, man, why are you guys just training no gi? It's like, well. Those guys over there training just gi, nobody says anything to them. But it's like, I feel like gi has just been around more consistently in the public eye, and everybody's just so like focused on that. And then no gi is just, it's this new thing that, you know, it's coming in. And I honestly think, for me, so to answer your question, because I feel like I've avoided it, it's no gi for me.
No, you're good, man. Yeah. I mean, I see you guys doing a lot more no gi, and that's true. Like as a spectator, or as the growth of the sport is concerned, it's been all about no-gi, right? Especially with ADCC, all these fight to wins, all these events. Yep. And, you know, it looks like a UFC fight, but it's just jiu-jitsu, which is exciting for guys that are into that aspect of the sport. Because gi, ultimately, we've talked about this before, gi is for gi practitioners.
Right.
You know, you're not going to see a lot of random people watching a gi match because they're not really paying attention to what's going on.
Right.
It's kind of like there's certain musicians out there that are like musicians for musicians, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking about like Victor Wooten, the bass player. He's like,
oh, yeah.
He slap at the bass, you know?
Slap at the bass.
But it's like, Who's listening to that? Other bass players, you know, like not like random people like listening on the radio and things like that. So,
but some of it I think is because TV and movie has kind of commercialized that aspect of it. When you look at like John Wick, he's not doing a lot of gi stuff. He's doing no-gi type things. So when you see jiu-jitsu, if somebody recognizes it, they look at it and say, oh, yeah, that's the stuff John Wick and Keanu Reeves was doing. So he's not wearing a gi. So it just makes it easier to sell, I think.
Yeah, that's probably a big part of it, too.
Yeah.
Especially,
All right, man. So I pulled a match of both a gi and a no-gi match of yours because I wanted to watch and get a reaction. I'm pretty sure you won both of these matches.
Oh, God,
I
Jeff.
try to pick the ones that you guys win so that we can watch it and be like, yeah, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Fayaz was on the episode, and I was like, surely he won this one. And he lost. So I was like, oh, he still wanted to watch it, which was kudos to him. Because I mean,
this match in particular definitely puts a fire in my stomach for
Ooh,
sure.
Really?
Because,
Excellent.
Because I know this.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and...
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to let you know. I did lose this match.
God dang it, Jeff.
Damn it.
But
You
here's the
are
thing.
awful at your job sometimes.
This match,
This guy.
I know exactly. So Frank Rosenthal, he's one of the DDS guys. Or I guess one of the... He was one of the DDS guys.
He's a Henzo Gracie or not?
Yeah, he's one of those guys, and I knew exactly how this match was going to play. He was going to try and enter my legs. I was going to try and pass. He immediately pulled, and so, like, man, I look at this match, and I was like, I was super frustrated watching it, but, I mean, he was trying to enter. I think he couldn't enter. I felt pretty good on my feet. Like, I didn't want to disengage. I wanted to come in, which he felt so sticky, like his hooks and stuff. Like, when he gets butterfly hooks, his legs were just so sticky.
Yeah,
like,
you have to stay glued, man. That's probably the number one thing that people make mistakes on in no-gi is when they get their hooks in, they're not glued. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
but this dude, it was like that left foot that he has on my right
on the
shin.
Yeah,
it is so tight. And
that's a strong.
He kept keeping it super sticky, but I was able to pummel my feet in, so I felt really good. I was like, man, he can't enter. I'm pretty sure that like he was trying to enter on my legs like multiple times. He couldn't enter like the whole entire time I was passing. I felt really good. I started to get to a comfortable position here. I was getting tight on the pass right here, and he just kind of like uses his knee shield. Like I was getting comfortable. I had been working on my passing. I was like, oh, I'm about to start getting like settled in to where I can start passing if I can get to the head and arm. I think I go to reach for it. Yeah, and he kind of like sits me back a little bit with that knee shield.
He just bridges into you a little
he's
bit.
like pushing me away. I'm like, no.
Yeah, because I mean that's one of the best ways to pass no-gi is pressure, right? Because it's tough to do outside passing without the gi.
I've been watching a lot of passing. I consider myself a guard player, but I've been passing for the past like 6 months probably. I love passing. It's so much
important,
fun.
yeah. You gotta train passing, man. A lot of people are like, when should you learn leg locks? It's like when you learn passing. When you learn guard passing, you can learn leg locks.
Yeah. Reese, you make an excellent commentator, by the way.
Yeah, you are. I'm trying not to talk over.
I just wanted to be quiet and listen. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah. This is where he turns. He does a weird little thing. He turns to his knees and gives up his back. Yeah.
Whoa,
so
that was a crazy.
Man, I felt so good. I was like, I had the like, I came
leg
up.
drag,
I was
nice.
locking the tight body lock pass type stuff.
You're playing a good game, though.
Yeah.
Man.
This is where I got complacent. I get lazy for a couple seconds, and he pulls that leg through. My right leg. Yep. See, I'm here. I'm literally to his back. Yes. If I would have just put my right foot on the floor, I think I could have been through. And right there, bam, he pulled it.
Oh wow, what a crazy, yeah.
Yeah, man. Dude was good. I made like one mistake with my foot, and he just pulled my heel through.
Man,
It's still an awesome match, dude.
that guy.
God darn. Jeff Spain's comments are those of his and his alone. If you are seeking out a match with him, please do not reach out to me. Thank you.
Listen, Frank, if you're listening to this, man, just know that I tried talking about us saying that, but
No, he's good. I'm sure he whooped my ass. Man.
Dude,
But
he's so small. Like everybody, when you look at him on social media, they look big. But this dude is like, he's like, compared to me, he's short. And I was like, man, this dude's small. He's not big and scary, you know?
Yeah, that's good though for
Yeah, yeah.
like going into it. All right, so we're gonna watch this gi one. I know for a fact that you won this one.
Yeah, I recognize this match.
Please
Although
be
I
right,
had to watch
Jeff.
it till the end just to make sure.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure. This is an absolute match. I actually have a really interesting story if this is a match, I think.
Yeah.
There's 2 matches, I think, on this. I have to see who it is, though.
Okay.
It depends on the person it is. But if
I want to
it's a dude,
comment.
I think it is.
I want to say that, like, first of all, you guys at Jiu-Jitsu Nation, y'all always come out with pretty dope uniforms, man. I like
Yeah.
the different
Appreciate
looks
that, man.
and things.
Yeah,
y'all, and the fact that you got your your name printed on the back, I always think that's badass on a competitor's gi.
That
so.
100% French name.
Yeah, that's right. French as hell, son. All right. Oui.
Yeah, so this was the absolute finals. Yes, this is the match I'm thinking of. Yeah, so if you want to pause this real quick.
Oh, yeah.
So this guy's name was Reese. This guy's from Atlanta, and his name is Reese.
Of course.
I know, and I was like, wow. And Gio was like, hey, man, we got to show him who the real Reese is.
There can only be one.
Right.
Dude, I was like a featherweight, and this dude he had won his like super heavy or whatever weight class he was in. This was in juvenile though, so it's like there's still weight differences, but it's like I actually fought in a higher weight class. I fought at like medium heavy or something like that. So in juvenile, there's 2 separate absolute divisions. There's a lower absolute, but there's nobody in the lower one. So like, sign up for the bigger one. And
wow.
So this was the bigger one. And like when I went and did that one, it was like it was fun. It was really fun, but it was definitely everybody was really big. So yeah, but so this was the finals right here.
Reese versus Reese.
Yep, that's right. And this dude was strong as Knox. He grabbed me. I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Man, it's so cool looking at like old matches like this. Like, man, I just straight to the guard pull. But man, I play a lot of collar sleeve. He immediately started passing. Yeah, he was so strong. He started passing so fast. So like, oh geez, he was so heavy. Yeah, I was trying to invert, but he like pulled my leg across. I was like, oh no.
This right here, the position you're in, I'm all too familiar with.
Yeah,
I'm just like, being in that position. That's
I definitely pull a sneaky little submission right here.
nice.
Yeah, he was tough as nails, man. He was super tough. So I lock on the like reverse triangle from here, or the bottom side. Yeah, it's a reverse triangle.
Yeah, I know you got
it's
strong
reversed.
legs from there too.
Yeah, from here I felt super comfortable. Once I got to the triangle, I was like, okay, I just got to take my time, breathe, focus. I feel like I'm really good at that, like calming myself down in competition. Like in a match, like before matches, of course, I got nerves like everybody does and stuff like that. But mid-match, I always tell myself calm, cool, collected. Like I just repeat that in my head, and I can focus really well.
Nice.
Yeah. So
That's
it's
good,
like
man. That's a
right
good
here.
little mantra. I was actually going to ask what kind of like little calming techniques or things you do for prepping for competitions or tournaments.
Yeah, there's actually this song. It's like, I forget the name of the song. He's like, calm, cool, and collected. That just like the life I lead. I was like, hey, that's me.
Sounds like a song James would listen to.
And if it is, so does Reese, who is also a purple belt, which makes it fine.
Gio and Tyler right there. Oh man, the end of the video, you gotta listen to Hannah. It's Hannah's my girlfriend, by the way. She trains too. She's also a purple belt. So
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's good to have live-in training partners.
This is where he puts that arm across, starts scooping, goes to it.
Ooh,
Dang,
don't do that.
here we
Don't
go.
do that. Nice.
Man.
Got up with a little attitude too, didn't you? I saw that.
Yeah, man. Dude was strong. I tell you what, I remember looking at his face right there, and he was pale as a ghost.
Really?
He hung in
Yeah.
there for a while.
He was super. He was yes, man. I talked to his parents after. They were super cool. They drove up from like Atlanta, and so it was super cool because it was like I think that was the second national tournament that they had overall. So it was pretty cool going out there and getting.
When was that?
second
Was that last year or?
Oh man, that's been at least a year or two. Yeah.
Okay, so either 2020 or
That was like 2019, 2018.
2019?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably 2019, yeah.
Okay.
I guess almost 3 years? Is that 3 years?
I think that was the one I did.
2019 is yeah.
Was
3
it at
years.
the agricultural center?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know,
I
right?
can't even believe it's been.
Well, you got to remember, like, we didn't even acknowledge it, but today is the start of the new year, like January the 2nd. So
Oh yeah, January
there's that,
2nd,
2022.
2022. A lot of us too. I think most people just like forget 2020. Like they're just like, oh yeah, it's been 2. Oh, it's been 3.
Yeah.
We try to just block that out, you know.
Yeah.
But really, you know, nothing's changed. It's still the same crazy shit. That,
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, 2020 sucked.
Yeah. It initiated all the fear in the grapplers as far as like what the future held for our careers. You know.
Well, I mean, I just remember when it started. It was like, it started at the worst time ever. So it was like, I think it started like March, April is when like everything started closing down.
Yeah.
So it was like, so I remember February, I went competed in Atlanta. It was my first year at adult blue belt. And I have to say, juvenile blue belt is much harder, much harder. Everybody's just been training for longer and stuff. And it's like, you're facing kids that have been training like their whole lives. Then you go to like adult, and I was like, oh, these dudes have been training for like 2-3 years. I got this. But no, like I went and started competing against these adults, and it was like I won Atlanta, and then the next weekend I won New Orleans at my weight, like double golded. I felt, or not double golded, but I got 2 golds over 2 weekends. So I was like, man, I feel good, you know, like won my weight class 2 times in a row. Pans is coming up next. A week before Pans, I've been training for like 3 months, just super solid, super hard training. A week before Pans, I remember it was a Wednesday because I was supposed to compete on a Wednesday. It was Wednesday that they let everyone know. It was a week out. They were like, yeah, Pans is canceled. It was my first year ever going to go through Pans, anything like that. It got
Nogi Pans, right?
It was actually gi Pans.
Was it gi in 2020?
Yep. 2020
But I did Pans in 2020.
In 2020?
Yeah.
They read it.
Oh,
later.
so you had scheduled to
Oh,
go.
gotcha.
They did move it from California to Florida.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I was
So
going.
that date was no good for you. Yeah. Okay.
So it was
gotcha.
like I was actually going out there with one of our white belts, I think, at the time. Which honestly, man, he's like, there's these 2 dudes in our morning class, and they're awesome. It's his name is Ryan, and there's this other dude named Big John. They're best friends. They come in all the time. They train, and man, dude, they're those like middle-aged guys that come in, and they're like when they come in, they give everybody a hard time, man, because they just come in, they're super consistent, like every morning, or like besides maybe one day out of the week they're not there. So it's like when it's those people that you don't see, and you're like, man, we're so and so at. You know?
Yeah.
It's like it's like those dudes are super awesome. But he was gonna go out there with me, and like we had a room booked and stuff like that, and it got canceled. I was like,
That's the thing about consistency. It's like feels like we talk about that every episode. Past 3 episodes, we talk about consistency.
What?
But I mean, honestly, I feel like what's wrong?
I think my mic is up like sky high. Did you mess with it just now?
Oh,
I hear myself.
I keep trying to turn somebody's up. I guess I'm turning the wrong one up.
Oh my God.
That's okay. You haven't really been talking that much anyway.
I think that's by design.
by this.
Jeff really doesn't. If you didn't notice from the beginning of the podcast, he really doesn't like when I talk because I get loud.
Try to sabotage you.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I just feel inferior. That's all that is.
It's a lot of man voice.
Intimidating, deep black man's voice.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, it happens. If it does it to you, I didn't do it.
Well, you know, like thinking about consistency at somebody, I think a lot of times when people get in this routine and they're doing well, and then they have the thought like, oh, well, maybe I'll skip. Like, I got to a place where I had to really think and convince myself that if I was skipping, I had a good reason.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't just laziness, and I wasn't just pulling shit out of the dark to, like, use as an excuse to not be at training. Because what happens is people do rely on you after a while. Like, you need training partners.
Yeah.
And you need good ones.
Yeah, for sure.
And, like, you know, when people are happy to see you, you know, you're missed. You know, your coach may not run you down all the time and try to chase you, but trust me, they notice when you're not there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, for sure.
Subliminal messages for those of you who have been not as consistent.
Hold on,
Please listen and take heed.
Let me just turn James all the way down.
Oh, wow. You see how this happens?
Yeah, that's okay.
Watching the sabotage going on live right now.
I'll have to do a little mixing probably in this audio, but that's okay. We're actually doing really good, I think.
Yeah.
So Reese.
You gonna let me ask a question? Or
Oh yeah, you can ask a question.
I didn't know if I could talk to him or not.
No, yeah. You're like,
Hey, so I get to ask some of the random questions.
Okay.
So,
How you feel about animals? Animals? Yeah.
how you feel about animals?
Animals?
Yeah.
Man, I personally, I don't mind animals. And my girlfriend, she has this dog that's like 500 years old, basically. It's it's 13 years old is this dog. So it's like 90 something dog years, and she's like super old. And I was like, I'm like, animals are animals. I'm like, oh, hi dog, But I mean, I like animals, but I've started getting close to this little doggo here recently. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Like I feel like if I'm around him, then I'm close to him. But I just have so much stuff to do. Like I personally can't afford to like have a dog. Like I would love to, but it's like I'm just so busy. I have stuff I need to accomplish, and it's like I can barely take care of myself. So
You need a part-time animal is what you
Yeah. I get a part-time. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a great way to put that.
So, how would you compare your jiu-jitsu if it were an animal?
Oof. Man, I feel like I'm not super like athletic with my jiu-jitsu. Like I don't like move a whole lot. I do at points, but it's like, I don't know, I typically play guard, or if I'm on top, I'm like real like heavy and stuff. I feel like I'm not the average like lightweight. Like I feel like a lot of lightweights, they move a lot, do stuff like that. But I feel like, I don't know, I'm not a sloth because I move a little bit, but I'm like koala territory, I'd say.
There you go.
Koala territory.
We got one of those here too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, his name is Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he gets on your back, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
He's glued to you, and you're now carrying him around until it's over.
I feel like I try to be as technical as possible, and sometimes it gets me in trouble because like if like somebody's not giving me what I want to work on, especially in training, I'm just like I get so frustrated. I'm like, just do what I want you to do. That way I can do what I want to do slowly, and then I'll get frustrated and I'll start moving a little bit, and I'm just like, oh jeez. Yeah.
Are you done with your question?
Jesus Christ. You see what I got to put up with?
Are you happy you got your animal response?
Yes.
Okay, you have another one you want to ask?
I've got several, Jeff.
Go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
What about zombie apocalypse? No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. What would you bring in a zombie apocalypse? I'm just saying, man, that gi probably makes it a little easier to fend off some bites.
It does. I tell you what, man. Yeah, you know what? Just bring a couple geese. Just wear a couple geese.
It would probably hurt your teeth trying to bite somebody with a gi on.
Yeah, you could break that. You couldn't break skin with that.
Especially at the collar, right? Because the collar's thick.
Yeah.
They try to sink their teeth, you just pull their teeth out.
That's
there you go.
True. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. Probably just bring a gi, gi in a belt.
So if I hear Reese correctly, he said Nogi is his favorite. But if he
but
wanted to save his life,
Yep.
I mean,
he would definitely be wearing a gi. Case solved. That's all I need to know.
All right, here you go. Desert Island question. You can only take 2 submissions.
2 submissions. Okay.
To the Desert Island. What submissions are they?
Oof. Man, gonna have to go with classic rear naked choke. I feel like that one's always 100% solid. If I lock that in,
Rear naked
like
choke.
it's gonna be real hard to get out. Maybe that one, and then, man, that's a tough one. I want to say I gotta have a lower body submission. I'd say heel hook. We'll go heel hook.
Hell yeah.
We'll go, yeah.
Them dirty heel
Even in the
hooks.
gi. Even in the gi.
Even in the gi. I know,
Made
right?
a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
There's some professional events that probably allow heel hooks in the gi. I know
I assume
IBJJF
so.
doesn't allow twisting submissions in the gi.
Yeah.
No heel hooks for black belts, which is interesting.
Yep. Yep.
But what about sweeps?
Sweeps. Oof, man.
Oh, wait. Let me preface by before you answer that.
Okay.
Let's ask what 2 guards, and then we'll
2
ask what
guards.
2 sweeps.
Man, so here recently I've been playing a X guard, and then playing a lot of like De La Riva, actually, believe it or not.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been experimenting with some on my back guards and
In the gi? Nogi?
in Nogi.
Nogi.
Yeah,
De La
yeah.
Riva Nogi.
Yeah, De La Riva Nogi.
Nice.
Yep.
Who do you like? Who do you watch for like film stuff?
Man, honestly, so like, I tell you what. So I have almost at this point, I have a little over a year worth of notes, in just like instructionals. I'll go watch like the John Danaher and like Gordon Ryan instructionals. I'll just like, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's such a common answer, but I mean, like, honestly, it's like, I know it's changed my game, like, 3-fold or 7-fold, whatever it is, you know, but no, like, seriously, like, man, it's changed my game a ton. Like, I'll watch, and it's like just the way they like break down certain things and stuff like that. Like, if I like for my passing, I went and watch like Gordon Ryan's passing instructional, and so it's like, man, it's like it's helped out a lot, and it kind of builds on what like stuff I'm working on too. So it's definitely really helpful, stuff like that. I feel like man, like it just gives you a different understanding of jiu-jitsu in general. So I really enjoy just like being able to watch and like see stuff I don't typically see, you know, because I feel like with passing, it's like there's a couple common answers, like half guard, knee cut, you know. It's like, I feel like there's a couple general common answers that most of the jiu-jitsu community will give you for certain situations, but I feel like they kind of go a bit more in depth, or like something specific I see that they do is like a lot of people don't really deal with the knee shield. Like, people talk about doing it with the knee shield, but it's like 1 or 2 answers, but I feel like at least in that instructional, he had like a whole scenario for dealing with like the knee shield, or dealing with the knee shield from different positions. It was like a low knee shield or high knee shield. It's like 2 different situations. Like, man, I just have trouble dealing with knee shield. I didn't even know there's 2 different positions, you know. Like, I know it's there, but it's like it just kind of goes a bit more into depth in those different positions.
And that's the Gordon Ryan one?
Yeah.
Well, that's what made all those DDS guys good, was the meta game that they focused on was like, let's get to this place and let's know everything there is to possibly know from this place, and then that's where your success comes from.
Yep. Yeah, man, for sure. It was definitely. So really
I'm assuming you're using De La Riva and X guard to get to like more leg locking scenarios as opposed to sweeping scenarios.
It just depends on my partner's reaction. So it's like, if it's Ashton, which I'm gonna throw him under the bus. If it's Ashton, I just heel hook him all the time, because he always tries to run away anytime I get into those positions. I just heel hook him. So, yeah. But
somebody's a mat bully.
I know, right? Stop running.
Listen, I just want to say, Jiu and Tyler hazed me enough, so now it's his turn, and he knows this. He knows this. So, so it's just like, if he's listening to this, he understands where I'm coming from. He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, you tell him to listen to this one or watch it.
I will,
subscribe, because that helps.
Yep, for sure.
All about the heel hooks, huh?
Man, I'd say it's a pretty big part of my game, for sure. Yeah.
So what about your sweeps?
Do what?
So Jeff initially asked you about sweeps.
Yeah, about sweeps. Yeah. So most of my sweeps are coming from like X guard, stuff like that. So I'll use De La Riva to almost like threaten like tripod sweep, stuff like that. And then like if I like hit the tripod sweep but they pop right back up, as they're coming up, I'll try to go to like single leg X and start sweeping from there, or transition to X and sweep off of like that, like the little tripod sweep from X guard.
Yeah.
It's like left foot and hip, right foot on the ankle, sweep right there. So I'll use those sweeps a lot.
And that's like traditional X guard stuff. Yeah. You know, that's not anything fancy.
Yeah. No, just super basic stuff. Yep. And that's like the main stuff. Here recently I've been using, as far as like sweeping and stuff like that, I'd say those are my main answers. Yep. Like sweeps that get me into positions where I can just like come on top, to where they get sat down so I can try and come on top. So Yep, for sure. For sweeps, that's what I'd say.
You say, so I think you answered my other question then. You would say Gordon Ryan's probably your biggest influence in jiu-jitsu?
He's definitely one of them. I feel like I don't have like one specific influence, but like anybody I like to study, like I just feel like I choose specific things I just suck at, and I try and get better at those things. And as far as like that goes, it's kind of like for the most part, usually he's pretty well-rounded. I can find a couple matches on him, and I'll find like people close to my size. Him and like, I especially like watching like Gary Tonin. I feel like we have different styles, but like he's really good for like certain stuff too. Like his like entries into certain positions are really good, because he just has so many different entries from everywhere. He literally just moves so much. He enters from
He's
everywhere.
all MMA now, it feels like. You know?
I know, man.
He's going all in.
Yeah, watching him do the one championship. Have you watched his MMA matches before?
I've seen he's just nonstop.
He destroys everyone.
Yeah.
I'm just like, jeez, that would suck.
Yeah, he's got a very high pace, and that combined with jiu-jitsu, I mean, you know, Buchecha, I think he's crossed over to MMA. He's already had his first match. He won. Who else? Vieira.
Yeah, he's been competing in there for a while.
Rodolfo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had a hard time recently. Yeah. Didn't he lose to Cayenne like pretty bad too? Like he got caught in
it was like arm drag straight to the back. I was just like, oh, man.
That's the thing about some of these guys that were like super big time competitors, and then they kind of start to fall off. Yeah. Some guys fall off and they just keep going, and then they get a big win. You know, I know Cyborg's been in the news a lot for negative stuff, but he's one of those guys who was like really technical early on, then kind of like fell off for a little bit, then came back big time and was just like wrestling and winning everything.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to see how age and how the career paths play out for these jiu-jitsu athletes.
For sure. Yeah.
What about you, man? Like, if you think about the future, you know, you think about your career as a 30-year-old, you know, as a 40-year-old. What do you see? Man,
it's something I've been thinking about a lot here recently. I actually have something that I haven't told a whole lot of people. That I was planning on announcing this on the podcast, so it's like it's definitely interesting. I'm trying to figure out how I want to put this. So I've had a lot of people have a big influence on my jiu-jitsu career and like in the future and stuff like that, you know, like I don't train at the biggest gym and stuff like that. And so actually right before ADCC is when I decided that I'm actually going to move to Austin, Texas. Yep. So
whoa.
Yeah. So I'm actually gonna move to Austin in March. Is when I'm gonna move down there. Me and my girlfriend are gonna move down there.
Wow.
And you're gonna train?
I'm gonna train at like either B team or like the new wave guys.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Man.
So I'm moving down there. Yep. So it's like it's kind of this thing that like
Wait, so you haven't told anybody?
I have to. So I haven't told.
You're gonna have
this
to
is
wait
a lot
to
of
put
pressure.
This episode
There's
out.
a lot of pressure on me right now.
I haven't told a lot of people. So like when I first started thinking about it, the first person I talked to about it was Cliff.
Okay.
Of course I talked to Cliff about it, and like it was just something like, you know, we were just kind of talking, man, and he's like, man, you know, like if this is really what you want to do, you know, like if you can make it to Texas, like go. You know, he's super supportive, and like I called Louise and Pedro like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and they were super supportive and stuff too, man. So it's like it's one of those things. It's like, man, like I would love to stick with my team, like. And also, I'm kind of like getting a little like shaky just because
man.
It's like, you know, it's like
it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's my
deal.
team, you know. I mean, like I hate that. Like this is a situation. I wish I could stick with my team, but you know, it's one of those things. It's like I know what I want to do, and like I feel like there's just so much going on with the business and stuff at the nation. You know, it's like because it is a big thing. You know, like Tyler has to run it.
If you're going to be a full-time competitor, man,
Yeah.
that's literally all you're going to have bandwidth for. If you want to be the best, that's what you're trying to do. Like,
and those are my goals. You know, it's like I love teaching at the nation. Honestly, it's something that I'm super passionate about. Like seeing those kids go from like I get goosebumps every time I talk about. There's this one moment that happened a couple months ago. It's like this kid who came in and started training. Him and his older brother actually have been in my class for a couple months now. His older brother's in Gio's class, and they've been trained like 6-7 months. So they're super consistent. They come in, they work hard. But I just have this one picture. Like it's just this one perfect mental image. I can tell you everything, how it felt, everything. But he hits his first armbar ever, and he gets up and he just looks at his dad, and he just has this huge grin on his face. Like in live training, I was just like, man, like that's amazing, getting that feeling. And it's like I was able to create that feeling for him, and like his confidence just shot up after that, because it was these quiet kids that come in, and now like every day he's coming in, he's like, hey, Coach Reese, what's going on? You know, and he's like coming in talking, he's excited, and like that's the one thing that I do love about teaching. But you know, like you said, my goal isn't to be teaching forever. Like, and I have a nice, comfortable spot at the nation. But I feel like to be the best, you know, like there has to be adversity. Yeah. Like we talked about earlier, you know, like like you either come from nothing or you come from people who help you a lot. I've had a lot of people help me, and so like their sacrifices definitely aren't for nothing. I definitely want to keep pursuing my dreams. I want to make sure that I can help everyone who helped me along the way. That's definitely one of my goals too. It's like I'm not done here in Tennessee. For sure.
You'll always have a home.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like you said, man, that's 7-year mark in February. Lucky enough, you know.
Man, you got to get it while you're young, man. Because I mean, here's the thing: life is short, and if you didn't really take these chances or these risks or make these moves, you would wonder you don't want it to be too late.
Yeah,
right?
and that's why I think it's like, like I said, there's people who get helped out a lot, and I think the reason that most of those people aren't super successful is because they live a nice, comfortable life. They don't face any adversity. So, like, I haven't faced a whole lot of adversity. Like, the hardest thing I've gone through, it's like my parents getting a divorce. Like, I don't think that's super difficult. And it was like, and like jiu-jitsu, just like, I just train more, honestly. That's just how I dealt with it. And then, like, so now it's like, man, everything's super easy. It's nice and relaxed,
Man, how old were you when that went down?
Probably a year into training, so I was like 13, something like that. So, so
that
it's like
would
we
be
were
a
living in
tough age,
Stokesville.
yeah.
So me and my dad actually moved like 5 minutes from the gym. And I remember he was like, hey, I'm going to let you know, like, I just bought a whole entire year of classes. So he was like, I see how like dedicated you are. He was like, don't tell anybody, but I just spent a lot of money so you can go here. I was like, I appreciate that. I was like, well, I won't let you down, Pops.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good
But that's part of the journey of jiu-jitsu is you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So whenever you find yourself in a situation where things are too easy, sometimes you have to extend yourself a little more to get to another place of growth.
I think my thing is I just don't want to get complacent either. I don't want to get comfortable teaching every single day, like I don't want to be that person who's like, man, I could have done all this, but I settled. I don't want to settle. I want to be the best. Like, I will be the best. Like, that,
Yeah,
like,
man.
I seriously, like, I think it will. I'm sure, like, it'll be one of those highlights where it's like, they'll look back and I'll be sitting here talking on this podcast and be like, man, this dude knew what he was doing way back then. yeah. So, I mean, it might not be next year, but.
We were first to get him.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hell yeah. That's right. I
Please
see you,
don't
man.
forget
I
us
see
little
you.
guys.
Yeah. Heck no, man. Like I said, man, my goal is just to make sure, like, I got a list in my head, man. All those people at my gym who help me every single day, like, I wouldn't be here without Cliff coming in and starting a gym, and then, like, Gio coming in, training with me every single day. Like, those are dudes who helped me along the way. Tyler helping me out too, man. Tyler's one of those dudes. It's like, it's weird because it's weird how you learn, because it's like, I feel like Cliff and Gio just ask them questions and it'll just give me like answers, But Tyler, he's like, hey, let me show you this thing I learned. And I find myself using it all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, Tyler showed me this. Tyler's one of those guys where it's like, it's not like direct stuff. It's just like stuff they just like shows me. And I'm like, oh yeah, I use this all the time now. Awesome. So. Yeah, man, some big news for sure, but
awesome.
I haven't told anybody besides like core group of people. So now I guess get it out to the public there.
That's awesome, man. Well, you'll have to remember us when you're trending in the jiu-jitsu community in the metaverse, Be like, hey, holler at this JuJu by the ChooChoo guys.
Dude, I didn't realize how close you guys actually are. By the way, that's awesome, man. Jiu-jitsu by train tracks, that's super awesome. And it's like literally like train tracks right there.
That's all his idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's nice, man. Heck yeah.
Periodically,
I thought it
we're
sucked
filming.
at first.
He really did, and he changed it like 6 more times, and he couldn't remember it, and all kind of stuff happened. But
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet though, man. Y'all got your T-shirts up and stuff like that. That's awesome. Man.
that's thanks to one of our lovely viewers and followers, Miss
Heck
Valerie
yeah.
Williams.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. That's
she
awesome.
does
man.
it for fun.
Nice. Yeah, man, that's super sweet.
It's we've done it. We try to keep it just for fun, because if we get too serious about it, then it's stressful. Then it becomes more of a, a job than something that's more of like a hobby.
Yeah.
Which
Jiu-jitsu.
I feel like, just like anything else, the longer we do it, the more efficient, the better we'll get at it,
Right.
and
For sure.
yeah.
How was it like starting a podcast? Was it pretty difficult at first?
I had a little bit of experience doing it with another guy for a while, so I learned a lot through trial and error during that. And then when and I stopped for a long time because I was like, it's just too much work.
Right. Yeah.
The
That
editing,
stuff
the film
like that,
especially, But we wanted to be on YouTube, and James is actually the one poking at me because we were talking about COVID. We didn't know how we were going to be getting value to people that were members and stuff. So we were just like, well, let's do podcasts, let's do information, let's stream classes, whatever. And James was like, let's get this podcast going. So that's what we did. I have to give James credit because if left up to me, I may not have been doing this again. So the fact that we're still working for it, and I appreciate him.
No,
for
I
pushing
love hearing you guys' stuff. I actually listened to a couple of them not too long ago too. So
Thanks, man. We
appreciate
just trying
it.
to clean up from earlier. That's all. ridiculous, but fine.
Well, I do want to segue really quick because, we usually ask for money on this show, but I think we're just going to ask for you to click the subscribe button. And if you want notifications about when new episodes drop, click the bell as well while you're listening to this. So, or if you're watching it on YouTube. Because we are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, anywhere where you could find podcasts, but also on YouTube. So make sure you visit all those places and get yourself some JuJu by the ChooChoo love.
Yeah. You should have seen Reese's face when you said, speaking of and changing subjects and let's talk about money. Reese was like, am I supposed to pay to be on this?
Let's talk about money.
There was a moment in his eye. Like, I don't have my wallet.
Man,
No, it costs nothing. It's a synergistic relationship we have when we have guests on.
For sure,
so
man.
We're trying to promote guys.
Yep. And it's super awesome. You guys got a bunch of people from like the affiliation that come down here. Got Miles, Sam, and then Ives. Got all the dudes on here.
Just Luis guys so far, from
Yep,
that
for sure.
old school generation, and a lot of
We've
Profectus
asked
people.
others.
We have asked other
just
people.
Gotta get their schedule right.
There's some people that are they're busy.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like, we get it. My feelings aren't hurt.
Yeah, they are.
They're a little hurt.
He cries at the end of every episode.
I just have a hard time chasing people. I'm like, if I ask you something, that's okay. It's just the GoPro.
It's just up top. We're fine.
If I ask you something like, hey, let's get together and do this, and they go, yeah, sure, just message me. And I was like, cool, I'll send you. I do everything just like I did with you.
Right. Yeah.
And but if like I send you dates, but you don't give me dates back, like it's very hard for me to want to follow up because I'm like, they got the message. Like it's either a priority or it
text
isn't.
Messages are still coming through.
Yeah, like I could chase and I could give like incentive, like money and stuff like that, but honestly, I'm like, if they want to be here, then they'll be here. They'll come in. I'd rather have people on the show that genuinely like just want to do it for the experience versus me trying to like sell it to people. I'm like, hey, this is what we do. It'd be cool to have you on just to bullshit. And you can talk about anything you want to talk about, And,
yeah, for sure.
But we've had some great guests, even like just with the mic. Even like, what's that face?
Trying to roll with the mic over there.
This dude just cracked his tooth on the mic stand. Everybody's always making fun of him because he holds a mic stand like this. And he's always super seductive looking into the camera. Like, dude, put
comes
that
back
thing down
to
before you need
eye
braces.
contact. He's always direct
I'm
eye
more
contact.
soft-spoken than you. I'm trying
But
to,
that's a threat when you make direct eye contact with somebody.
I was just going to give Jeremy props because, Jeremy's probably the biggest name we've had on here because,
he
he's
kicked
got
it
a
off.
big reputation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Tennessee Jiu-Jitsu.
This dude coached against Gordon Ryan once.
Yeah, that was cool. Coach Gio.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too.
Which was fun to watch and see because it was like, all right, we in it with the big dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Heck yeah, man.
Anything else, Reese, as far as like, I know we definitely want to get your IG handle and any other social media things, but if you had some parting words for the new white belt guy who's really into jiu-jitsu, but
Yeah, jiu-jitsu's hard. Jiu-jitsu's hard. It's very hard. And don't quit because you're going to get bored, you're going to get tired, you're going to get exhausted, but just if you keep coming, keep showing up, then that's about all you can do. About all you can ask for, viewers.
Consistency.
Man,
that's right.
Like,
key.
I feel like that's probably the start of my favorite answer ever.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Jiu-jitsu is hard.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like I feel like things are so straightforward with like other stuff. Like it's like you want to know about history, go read a history book. You want to know about math, go learn how to do math problems. It's like jiu-jitsu. Oh, you gotta learn how to do all this stuff simultaneously so you don't get choked.
Yeah.
You have to let people beat your ass for a little while,
Yeah.
and then you'll learn jiu-jitsu.
Oh man, dude, that's what I'm saying, man. When I first started, like the whole crew that was at the Nation, they just destroyed me for years.
And then
It
you
takes
unlock
years.
one little thing, and then
Yeah. Eventually, stuff just starts clicking, and then those people that you were able to not beat a year, 2 years ago stop showing up, and you keep coming, and then they come back, and it's like it's a whole different ball game.
Yes,
Yep.
I
And
love that
honestly,
feeling.
I think it's harder for those people just because it's like when they come back, it's like, man, like I think it's if you leave if you like stop doing jiu-jitsu and you've been doing it for a while, the people that you could have beat up now are gonna beat you up, you know. So it's like if you leave, you're just making it worse on yourself. So don't leave, don't quit, don't quit.
Where can people follow you, Reese?
They can follow me on Reese is _BJJ because Reese is BJJ.
I like
That's dope. That's dope.
Let's see, James, you wanna close this out? Thank you, Reese, for being here. I appreciate
it, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was fun for sure.
I'm excited for your future, man. It's gonna be good.
Me too,
You're
man.
gonna do good things.
It's gonna
man.
be crazy for sure.
It'll be good.
Yep. Got a lot of stuff planned.
Reese, again, thank you for coming out. Jeff asked me to close out, and then he starts doing this stuff. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
I just want to make sure I said thank you first before.
Yeah, well, you know, this has been my first time meeting you, so it's been awesome meeting you, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. It was awesome meeting you,
I'm excited about your future, man. So please make sure you post a lot of good stuff so we can keep an eye out.
Yep. I'll try and keep up to date with that. I try and post, but, you know, I get a little inconsistent every now and then, so
that's all right.
I'm better about being consistent with jiu-jitsu than I am with social media.
Yeah,
that's the important part.
We're in that boat. Yeah, jiu-jitsu comes first.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for another outstanding episode of Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks. I've been James. This is usually Jeff Spain. This is Reese. Thumbs up from Reese and a high and a wave. Y'all take it easy. See you next time.
Appreciate it, guys.